Everybody, welcome to this new video. Now, I promised you I'd have a prediction video, and that is what I do. What I say I do, I deliver. And this is the League 2. This is my League 2 predictions, where I think the league positions will be at the end of the 23-24 season. And I've probably done some controversial ones which people might agree with, might disagree with, but like I said, if you please don't get offended if you want to disagree with where I put your team. This is just my honest opinion. Your club could easily prove me wrong. Some people may be surprised where I put some teams, some maybe not so much, but there you go. So what we'll do, there's no graphics on this video, unfortunately, for this video, but I am going to tell you where I've put them and why I've put them where I've put them. And we're going to go top to bottom. So, shall we start? In first place, the first team I think will get promoted out to League One this season. I believe Stockport will win League 2. I just think, they haven't really weakened their squad very much. They've added a couple of decent players, but they've still got a strong core of players in their side. They've still got Carl Wootton. They've still got Paddy Madden. They've still got the goal threat they had. And if I'm honest, I can only see Stockport winning League 2. Could be wrong, but that's my first choice. In second place, I'm going to go Bradford City. The reason why I've gone for Bradford, that is to do with Andy Cook. I'll be honest with you. Andy Cook is the main reason why I put them in second place. And because when you've got a guy that can score as many goals as Andy can do at this level, and yeah, they may not have maybe as strong of a squad as they had last year. But when you've got Andy Cook, you've always got a chance of challenging up the top end. And I've done it as well because I think everybody who's anybody knows Bradford, at least by name, should not be in League 2. And I've gone for Bradford to get up, mainly because of the goal threat of Andy Cook. Because he knocked 28 in last season. Anything like that again, to me, Bradford will be up there. Third place, I have gone for Wrexham, but only just. Obviously, we've all seen this Hollywood story, shall we say. I won't call it a underdog story like Ryan Reynolds called it. This isn't an underdog story at all. But a lot of love for Wrexham fans. I don't want to state that because they did help us to get a lot of our fans to West Ham in our playoff winning campaign. So much love to the fans. We know a lot of fans are aware that we know it's not the fans doing this with all the hoo-ha, but they've got a very strong squad, and you have to look at it like that. I think they will get up automatically, but it's one of those as well that I and ahed. Do I put them in automatic promotion? Would it surprise me if they didn't go up? No, but it wouldn't surprise me at the same time if they did go up. So I put Wrexham in third place. Then we go into the playoff positions now. In fourth place, I put the MK Dons. And the MK Dons, they had a bit of a disastrous time the last couple of years. But they hired Graham Alexander at the end of last season, and to me, that was a get because I know he was on the radar of teams like Walsall, I think Tranmere, and even Doncaster had a little look. And Graham Alexander, I thought he got a raw deal at the end when it happened with Salford, and I think Gary Neville has admitted that himself in the past that he probably made a mistake. So would it surprise me if MK Dons nicked third ahead of Wrexham? No, not at all. But they have got some good players there. Graham Alexander is a real pulling point as to why I put the Dons as high as they are. So they're in 4th place. In 5th place, I've seen a few people go for this. I put Gillingham. Now, I wouldn't have said the same as anybody else at the end of last season. Well, not at the end of last season, but halfway through last season. At the end of last season, Gillingham were as good as winning the league, really, in the form they're in. But I do fancy them to challenge at the top end of League Two this season again. They've got great owners. They're trying to push the club on. And I just fancy Gillingham to be thereabouts. I put them in 5th place. In 6th place, Salford. Now, I kind of flip-flopped with Dons, Gillingham and Salford. I could have put either of those three in any of those positions, and I don't think it would have been that outrageous. I think Salford are in and around it most seasons since they've been in League Two. You've got to fancy them to again be in the mix. I mean, they haven't really been out the mix since they got promoted. So Salford, whether you like them or you don't, I know a lot of people that don't like them. I think I'm one of them. Their ground is horrible. Sorry, any Salford fans, but yeah. But I do think you've got to say that they have been consistent. They are constantly knocking on the door, and I see this season being no different. I'll just stop there for a minute just to say this league is going to be tight. So do not think any of these will be ran away with, because they won't. None of these will be. But we'll go on. In 7th place, the final playoff place, I have put my boys, the Mariners, Grimsby Town. I think, again, Grimsby are one of these teams I could have put anywhere in the top 10, really. I would be happy if we finished 9th. I'd be happy if we finished 8th. I'd be happy if we finished 10th. It's one of those that I put them in 7th, but I have them flirting with the playoffs. I think there's about 12 to 13 teams that could flirt with these playoffs. You know, it's not... maybe my heart's ruled my head there, but with the signings such as Danny Rose, and most of the time Danny Rose is always near the top end of the division. Harvey Rogers from Accrington Stanley as well. Emil Conte, who we got, who is a shining prospect. Tom Williams did mention him on his Twitter about how many clubs actually really wanted the guy. Grimsby got him. I just think, whether Town will finish 7th, wait to be seen, but I believe Grimsby, will be there or thereabouts this season. So I put them in 7th, but I'll take anywhere from 7th to 10th, and I'll be happy enough. I'll be a happy boy. Just below Grimsby, I've gone for the second newly promoted team, Notts County, just to miss out. But again, wouldn't surprise me if they snuck in there either. Obviously, with their great signing of David McGoldrick, great get from Derby. Obviously, they have McCoy Langstaff and the goals he scored last year, nuts, completely nuts. Whether he'll be able to, match that or come anywhere near that for this time round, wait to be seen. They've still got some good players. They have lost Ruben Rodriguez. He went to Oxford early on in the summer, but they have brought in, as well as David McGoldrick, a few decent players. I think they'll be flirting around the playoffs, but I put them just outside. And, well, you never know really. So 8th place for Notts County. In 9th place, I put Nigel Clough's Mansfield. Again, they just missed out on the playoffs. I think it was by a goal or a couple of goals only. And, I expect Mansfield to be there or thereabouts again. Whether you like... I've heard some Mansfield fans not necessarily happy maybe with the way that Nigel goes about his football sometimes. But they're always there or thereabouts, aren't they? And they have been. They're bound to be again. I put them in 9th, but again, there's so many clubs that are going to be in and around this. And Mansfield, they're consistently there. Would it surprise me if they broke the top 7? Not at all. Would it surprise me if they missed out on the top 7? Not at all. But that's, for me, it's going to be an interesting season for Mansfield, but I think they're just going to miss out again. But it wouldn't surprise me if they made the playoffs. So a 9th place for me for Mansfield Town. In 10th place, I've gone for Doncaster Rovers. Now, Doncaster really were having a disaster towards the back end of last season. They just, they couldn't win a game, could they? I mean, Grimsby went to Doncaster around like Easter time, and they sort of caved. They absolutely caved. But again, I think 10th. I think it'll be a fair season for Doncaster. I'm sure top half finish Doncaster fans would not take that as an undervaluement. They have got a Grant McCannon as manager, so and they've done some good business so far, Doncaster. So it'll be interesting to see what they do and what they're able to do. Can they push? I think the first 13, 14 teams could easily push for the playoffs as to what I put. So that's Doncaster in 10th for me. They are making some decent signings. I think it's going to be a far better season for Doncaster than last season. In 11th place, I'd put Tranmere. Tranmere, again, they're another one of those teams, aren't they? They're always in and around the top half, just on the fringes. So again, they're another team that you can't sleep on a team like Tranmere, and they could push again. But I just think this time around, because of the competitive nature of League Two this year, they could just slip a little bit. But it's going to be such a tough league. I'm going to put Tranmere in the top half. But again, with Tranmere, don't sleep on them because they could surprise them. Prenton Park is not an easy place to go to, I must admit, and try and get a result. So I put Tranmere in 11th, but they could go higher. Finishing out the top half of the division, I have put Barrow, and the reason why I've gone for Barrow is they're kind of on... This season for Barrow is kind of like... I'm going to class this one as a free hit for Barrow. I mean, the first season sort of back in the EFL, they struggled, which were expected. Last season, they were up there for most of it. You know what I mean? And to be fair, it could go any way at all. I'm putting them bang in the middle because I think that, again, they're a sleeper too. I mean, Pete Wild has done a fantastic job over at Barrow. Made them playoff contenders last year. I don't think they'll be that this year. Do I think they'll be around it again? with the way Pete sets his sides up, that is a distinct possibility. So I am going to go for a slight drop off, but not by much. But I think Barrow will finish in 12th. Going into the bottom half of League Two now, we go to the Black Country, and we will go with Walsall in 13th. Now, why have I put Walsall in 13th? I'll be honest. The only reason why I put Walsall in 13th is Danny Johnson, to be completely honest. They have made a couple of decent signings alongside Danny Johnson. Farquharson from Newport, I believe, as well. They've got him. But I look at Walsall and I think they haven't achieved anything above 14th since they got relegated into League Two. I think what they need to try and aim for, I know I put them below halfway, but Walsall fans, you may disagree with this, you may agree with this. Obviously with Danny Johnson, you're going to feel overhyped and hyped and believe that you can push top 7. There's a lot of teams this year that I think are going to push for top 7. My concern for Walsall is if Danny Johnson gets injured. They just played a game against Solihull Moors. They won 3-0. What they don't tell you is it took them to about the 75th minute to score a goal against Solihull, so it wasn't as though it was a dominating performance from that aspect. But I am going to put them just above halfway. Walsall fans, my opinion is, be happy with that if you get that, because you haven't finished in the top half of the league as of yet since you've been there. And I just think that even though they've got Danny Johnson, will they have enough if Danny isn't available? They could prove me wrong, and if they do, Walsall fans, I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong. But I honestly think you will not finish in the top half, but I do think you'll be around the top half of mid-table. I'm sure you want more, but I'm saying Walsall in 13th. In 14th, we go to the Wombles of Wimbledon, and they're a difficult team to judge. Wimbledon, they're a good little team, to be honest with you. I think they will be tough this year. I think with the teams that are in this league, it's harder to predict really a bottom half. And Wimbledon, I think they will have a better year than last year. I think they'll just finish just below halfway, but in 14th. I think that'd be a good season for Wimbledon. They've brought in a couple of decent players as well, you know. I think all teams have signed some decent players. But I'm saying 14th for Wimbledon. They start against my side on the opening day of the season. They come to Grimsby in a week's time. Good Lord, I can't believe I'm saying that. But I'm going to say Wimbledon to finish 14th in League Two next season. Just below them in 15th place, I've gone for Forest Green. Everyone's talking about that they finished bottom last year. They've obviously had this media controversy. I've looked a little bit more into that. No way did Dale Vince actually say the female coach was going to get the job. It was always, a caretaker role, interim role. But I think it'll be a season of struggle for them. I've probably been a bit, good to them, really. They haven't really made that many standout signings, Forest Green. But I do find them probably going to struggle. I don't see them bouncing straight back. I do find it like it's probably going to be a season of consolidation for Forest Green. And same as Forest Green, that goes for the team directly below them in 16th, where I put Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Which is the old milk advert, even before I was born. But Accrington Stanley, I put down in 16th. Similar reasons, really. I mean, they struggled last year. Obviously, got relegated, and I think this year, if they were to get a comfortable mid-table finish, obviously all fans want a bit more, but I think, you know, a comfortable mid-table finish for Accrington and then build on the season afterwards. Again, you know, they're a good little club, Accrington. I do like Accrington, and I just think it'll just be one of those seasons where it'll just be competitive wherever we go in the league, really. But I'm going to put them to finish lower end mid-table in 16th place for Accrington Stanley. Below them in 17th place, I've gone for Sutton United. Sutton, in the last couple of years, have been pushing well above their weight in League Two, and I think they have signed Craig Clay this summer, which is a great get from Leyton Orient for them. I may underestimate Sutton, but with the quality of teams that are in League Two now and signings that have been made, I think you've got to. I think Sutton may struggle to carry on doing what they've been doing. So I'm going to go for 17th place for Sutton. They could surprise some people. They did last year. Who knows? They've got a famous fan in Tim Vine, so he's probably going to be down at Gander Green Lane a few times this season. Who knows? But 17th place for me for Sutton. In 18th place, I've gone for Swindon Town. Why so low? I'm not sold on. I'm really not. They've just bought in Liam Kinsella after his release from Walsall, but I'm just not sold on him. You know, I like Michael Flynn as manager, who's took over from in the summer from after leaving Walsall. But I'm not sold on the business he's done. You know, and mainly that is why I put Swindon so low. Swindon are a good club. I mean, you know, they've got a decent stadium. They're a decent fan base as well. On business wise, I'm just not sold on them. There are better teams out there than Swindon, but you've also got a situation where no one expected Leyton Orient to go up last year. So is it possible? Yeah, of course it is. But for me, no, I'm going to go 18th for Swindon Town. Then we go on to 19th. I put Morecambe. Aren't they in a mess? Aren't they in an absolute mess? Mess of Morecambe, shall we call them. If they get to where I've put them, I think they should take it. I know they bought a couple of players in. No one of whom know. Morecambe are they're teetering a little bit, I think. I've probably been very, very kind to these, but I'm sticking by what I say. Morecambe are in a mess off the pitch. I think that, you know, if they get anywhere near where I've put them, I'd class that as a success for them this year. I usually say, you know, they could surprise a few people. I don't expect much from Morecambe at all. The last 5 teams, the bottom 5 teams, I've surprised myself with one of them. And you may be surprised with who I've put, maybe surprised with one of them teams that I've put in the bottom 2. Not the one you'd probably think. In 20th place, I've gone for Harrogate. I don't know what it is. They are starting to teeter. But again, they're punching above their weight. Period. Being in the Football League, I just think they'll do it again. Again, it's going to be tight, top and bottom. So I think Harrogate will just do enough again. Would it surprise me if they ended up in the bottom two? No. Would it surprise me if any of the bottom seven finished in the bottom two? Not really. But I'm going to say Harrogate in 20th place. The one that even I'm surprised myself at, Crewe. Again, they're just a team. I like Crewe. They're a good club. They really are. And it's not anything personal towards any Crewe supporter or anything like that. Imnanar did it. Should I put them 19th and Morecambe 21st? Probably. But again, they'll be fine. I think Crewe will be fine, but it might be one of those seasons for Crewe where it could be a challenge. It could go one way or the other. I'm probably underestimating them a little bit. Well, I feel like I'm underestimating them a lot. But fourth bottom for Crewe. Please, any Crewe fans, do not come at me with any abuse. I'm not sold on your team. That's all it is. I know what a good club you are. So would it surprise me if they finished a lot higher up? No. It is a drastic drop from where they were. But they have lost a few decent players. So it's whether they can get into a rhythm of finding it. And if they do, who knows? But I think Crewe, I want to carry out that by saying I do think Crewe will be fine. I do think I've misplaced you a little bit. But 21st for Crewe. 22nd, I've put Crawley. Now everyone's got Crawley to finish bottom. I haven't done that. Do I think they'll be down there? Yes. Would it surprise me if Crawley went down? No. Because obviously they've let a lot of their good players go. And I think that's why everyone's sort of got them doomed for relegation type thing, really. But I think there's going to be absolutely no pressure on them. Because no one's expecting Crawley to do anything. In fact, a lot of people are expecting them to finish bottom. But throughout their pre-season results, I don't see that. And I just think they'll have enough to get themselves out of the predicament that they are in. So I put Crawley in 22nd. My bottom two, I'm going to go bottom first and then second bottom. Bottom, Colchester. And Colchester are another one of these teams that I can't say anything but a relegation struggle for them. They struggled last year as well. They're definitely going to struggle again, and I honestly think they'll drop. I think as good of a team as Club Colchester can be, they've just been teetering with it for too long. So I'm saying Colchester to finish bottom, and the team I have chose to go with them is Newport. And I've got to be honest, I've followed some of the scores that Newport have been getting over pre-season and a lot of the stuff that's been done. I know they've signed Bryn Morris from Grimsby, but Newport, I mean, they've got Coughlin in charge of Newport. He's a good gaffer, but oh my God, no! I just think Newport are. That's why I say I think Crawley have got a little bit more than Newport have got, and I think they've got more goal threat. I think Crawley have got a little bit more goal threat than Newport. And I just think Newport are setting up for a relegation fight, and I say they'll drop at the expense of Crawley. That might be a bit controversial for some fans, and I understand if you disagree. So I'll take you up from bottom now to top. I've gone Colchester bottom, Newport to go with them. The two relegation places, Colchester and Newport in 22nd. Crawley, Crewe in 21st, Harrogate 20th, Morecambe 19th, Swindon 18th, Sutton 17th, Accrington 16th, Forest Green 15th, Wimbledon 14th, Walsall 13th, Barrow 12th, Tranmere 11th, Doncaster, now we're at the top 10, I should get that top 10. Doncaster in 10th, Mansfield 9th, Notts County 8th, Grimsby 7th, Salford 6th, Gillingham 5th, MK Dons 4th, Wrexham 3rd, Bradford 2nd, and Stockport will win League 2. That's my opinion on League 2 this season. What do you guys think of that? How well do you think I'll do? How bad do you think I'll do? I'll review this at the end of the season to see how well or how bad I've done. I'm sure I'm going to get some badly wrong, but there we go. But that is my choices for how League 2 will be next season. Let me know what you think of my predictions and what your predictions are for the upcoming season in League 2. I've got the first game week predictions coming up as well. National League fans, look out. You have got a video coming. I'll be doing the same for the National League. But for you League 2 fans, let me know down below what you guys think. Please do like. Please do subscribe. Please don't get offended by where I put your team. Prove me wrong. To anybody that I put near the bottom, prove me wrong. That's what I'm asking people to do. Prove me wrong. And please do like, please do share, please do subscribe. And I will see you guys very, very soon with another video building up to the season. 1 week away. I can't believe it.